What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're a little bit late doing the FAQ for BT6, going through all of the important rulings you need to know. I apologise for that. There are long, boring reasons why I'm a little bit late doing the FAQ for BT6, but I thought rather than spend loads of time talking about that, we could spend loads of time talking about the FAQ for BT6. So let's start off taking a bit of a look at the very first card in the set. It is Demi-Meramon. Now, Demi-Meramon's got an inheritable skill, whereby when the Digimon Digivolved from it attacks a player, it gains 1,000 power for the turn. So, if you attack the player, but it's blocked, do you get the extra power? Yes, you do. The target was the player, the extra 1,000 kicks in, it's blocked, but you still have that extra 1,000 power. Sticking with Digitama, we can take a little bit of a look at Kaiaramon here. Now, this has an inheritable skill whereby when one of your opponent's Digivolution cards is trashed, you get to draw a card. Okay, what if I don't actually trash a card, but I return a Digimon to their hand, and because of that all their cards are trashed? Does that count? No. You're not trashing their evolution cards, you're returning the Digimon to their hand. The evolution cards get trashed just as a natural consequence, but you're not trashing evolution cards, you're returning the Digimon to their hand. Now, Pinamon here's got an inheritable skill. When you're attacking an opponent's Digimon, you draw one. You can probably already guess what the ruling is going to be. If I attack a player and it's blocked, do I get to draw a card? No. The target wasn't a Digimon, the target was a player. It's the same as we saw a minute ago. Even though it's blocked, you're still targeting the player. Pinamon draws a card when you target a Digimon. You didn't target a Digimon, you targeted the player. And finally for Digitama, we've got Tsunamon. Tsunamon has an inheritable skill. Once during your turn, when you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, you draw one card. So what about when I've got a skill that lets me draw one and then trash a card from my hand? Think something like the inheritable skill on Gabumon from BT2, for instance. Yes. You're still trashing a card from your hand, and okay, fine, you draw one and then trash, but you're still trashing. It works just fine. Now, Agamon's got a rather nice permanent skill here. When you play a tamer with Taikamiya in its name, you gain one memory. Okay. Well, if I've got two of these in the battle area, and I play one Yagami Taichi, Taikamiya, do I gain two memory? Yes. Agamon is limited to once per turn, but each Agamon is limited to once per turn. They will both activate when you play a Taikamiya. Well, what happens if a Tai is played by a security effect? Now, you still get the memory because this works on all turns. So I gain a memory, and it puts the memory to 1 on my side. It was 0, or I have multiple Agamon or something else. Does it become my turn immediately? No. Remember the rule, and this has always been the rule. The turn only passes after the attack has been fully resolved, but it means your opponent won't get any extra attacks after it. Now, Shoutmon's got an inheritable skill when you are attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has advance, you get to draw a card. Okay. Do you have to attack using advance? Advance lets you attack when you Digivolve even if the turn would pass to your opponent. Do you have to be attacking with advance in order to draw a card? No. As long as this card is in the evolution source, you have advance and you are attacking. It doesn't matter whether the attack is with advance or not, you still get to draw the card. Now, Huckmon here, when you play it, you reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, and you add up to 2 Digimon with Huckmon, Jesmon, or Systemon in their name to your hand. Well, what happens if you reveal 2 of the same card? Can you put both of them in your hand? Yes. It's up to 2 cards with that name. Doesn't matter if they're the same or different. You're good, ladies and gentlemen. You're good. Now, Bauhackmon has an inheritable skill. When you are attacking, limited to once during your turn, If you have a Digimon with Systemon in its name in play, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 power or less. Well, if I've got two Digimon with Systemon in their name, do I get to delete two of my opponent's Digimon with 5,000 power or less? No. Essentially, the way it works is you declare the attack, then you look to see if you have any Digimon with Systemon. If you do, you get to delete a Digimon, but you're checking to see whether you have any, not how many you have. Obviously, as is always the case, like we saw a minute ago, if you've got multiple Digimon Digivolved from Bao Huckmon and one Systemon in play, you will be able to delete multiple Digimon because all of the skills will activate simultaneously. Now, Megadramon is one of those lovely Digimon that is treated as both a red and a black Digimon, and can Digivolve from either red or black. Can I Digivolve it into a Digimon with an evolution requirement of black level 5? Yes, you can. This is also treated as a black Digimon, therefore you can Digivolve it into a Digimon that evolves from black. Cool. Well, what about if it's in your raising area? Can I evolve it into a Digimon that evolves from a black Digimon? No. Because remember the rule, this has always been the rule. Skills do not affect Digimon in the raising area. And you are not a black Digimon, you are a red Digimon, but you have a skill whereby on your turn you're also treated as black. But that skill doesn't work if you're in the raising area, so you can't evolve into a black Digimon in the raising area. You can obviously then bring it out and Digivolve. Now, Jesmon is proving to be one of the very, very best cards from BT6. It is, frankly, a phenomenal card. And one of the reasons is the skill. When you are attacking, you may play a Digimon with Systemon in its name from your hand or trash, and you don't even need to pay for it. Cool. Will you then activate the play skills of Systemon? And this is really important, remember, because we've got Systemon Blank, that when you play you draw a card, and Systemon Noir, that when you play it you get to gain a memory. So you definitely want the play skills to activate. And they do. Because the rule is as it has always been. Skills activate when you play the Digimon for free, unless it specifically says it doesn't. There are plenty of Digimon that say play skills don't activate, but unless they say that, they will activate. Now, Magna Kidmon is one of them their new musketeers, and it's got a skill whereby when you Digivolve, you may use an option card of a memory cost of 7 in your hand without paying, but if you don't, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 power or less. Can I intentionally not use a 7 cost option card, even if I have one in my hand, so that I can delete a 4,000 power or below Digimon? Yes. Absolutely. It is a you may, not a you must. Not to mention, of course, that the hand is private information, so in order to prove that you didn't have an option card, you would have to show your opponent your hand, which is clearly a huge advantage for them, and would frankly be not an ideal thing. Now, when the set was released, when we first saw the artwork, etc., one of the poster children was and remains Agamon, Bond of Bravery. When you are attacking, if you have a tamer, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 13,000 power or less. And when your opponent's Digimon are deleted once during your turn, you may trash one card from the top of your opponent's security, which is clearly awesome. Okay. So when I use my skill to delete a Digimon with 13,000 power or less, can I then go, oh, one of my opponent's Digimon has been deleted, and immediately trash a card from their security? Yes. It's brilliant synergy. When my opponent only has one security left, and I attack, and I discard the security using my skill, i.e. I attack, delete a Digimon with 13,000 power or less, and then trash the top card of their stack, which we just said already works. Well, now I'm attacking and they've got no security. Do I win the game? Yes. Because essentially you trash the security card using the skill, and then you are attacking the player with no security cards, that wins you the game, ladies and gentlemen. That wins you the game. Moving over into blue, we've got Gabumon. Now, Gabumon has got the same skill we saw on Agumon, but for Matashita. When you play a Tame with Matashita, you gain a memory, and the rulings are the same. Yes, if you've got 2 out and you play a Matashita, you gain 2 memory. No, the turn does not immediately go to you if this comes out as a security, as in the Tamer does, and moves the memory to your side. You have to wait until the attack is fully resolved. Geysermon here has got an inheritable skill. While your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards in play, you have an extra 2,000 power. Well, if they've got no Digimon at all, do I get the extra 2,000 power? Yes. You're looking to see if any of their Digimon have evolution cards, and in that situation, none of their Digimon have evolution cards. Now, Murakai Betamon. On all turns, your opponent cannot gain memory except with Tamer effects. So what about cards like Metal Greymon, for instance, these memory borrower cards, whereby you gain free memory now, but you have to give it back at the end of the turn. Well, you don't gain the memory, but at the end of the turn, you do still lose the memory. We've seen this ruling before. It makes you not want to play the memory borrowers, but then again, they've really not seen much play at all. What about stuff like Hammer Spark that gives you memory as a security skill? That's different. Security cards are different, and yes, they will activate. Hammer Spark will give you the extra memory. You cannot play Hammer Spark to gain a memory, but you will gain 2 memory if it comes out as a security card. Now, Mojimon here has got a rather lovely skill, whereby while your opponent has no Digimon with any Digivolution cards, you gain jamming. So just like we said with Geysermon, does this work if your opponent just has no Digimon? And just like we said with Geysermon, yes, it absolutely does. Now, Majiramon here. Once during your turn, if your opponent has no Digimon with any Digivolution cards, you unsuspend it. What if they don't have any Digimon at all? Then they have no Digivolution cards, and it works. Yes, it's the same ruling again. Now, Pokemon here has Digiburst 2. Your Digimon cannot be blocked by your opponent's Digimon for the turn. What does that mean? Well, it means that when you declare an attack, even if your opponent has a blocker that they could use to block you, they're not allowed. They just have to let the attack go through. Ha ha ha. Tapermon, moving over into yellow here. Once during your turn as an evolution skill, when a card is removed from your security stack, you draw a card. Well, what if you've got multiple Digimon that have Digivolved from Tapiamon? You draw multiple cards. Once again, and we've seen this ruling a bunch now, even though it is limited to once per turn per Digimon, if you've got multiple Digimon, you can activate it multiple times, once per Digimon. Now, Pulsemon, frankly, I love. Pulsemon is becoming my boy. And Pulsemon, when you play it, you may trash cards on the top of your security stack until there are 3 left, gaining 1 memory for each security card that you have trashed. Do you have to do this? No! This would be a terrible card if it forced you to do that. It is absolutely not. It is an optional thing. You are good. What if I've already got 3 or fewer security? Well, nothing. You cannot trash until you've got 3 security remaining, so when you play it, the skill would not activate. If I've got 5 security, can I just trash 1 to gain 1 memory and leave myself at 4 security? Yes. You trash as many as you like. And incidentally, this ruling would apply if you somehow had like 7 security, you could trash as many or as few as you like. And this is an important ruling. This is not necessarily super obvious from looking at the card. This could be read either way. It is a little bit ambiguous. So I, for one, am delighted that they have confirmed this. And incidentally, it makes Pulsemon a way better card. Now, Wizardmon comes in here with an inheritable skill. On your turn, once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, you gain 1 memory. So what happens if you remove a security using your own effect? Well, yeah, of course it does. It's on your turn. I mean, the combo here that everybody points to is TK Takaishi, because that lets you pick up a security and then recover, but you still reduced your security, so you still get to gain a memory. It's a pretty gosh darn nice combo. Now, Mistymon here comes along. You have 1 inheritable skill. Once per turn, when a card is moved from your security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon loses 2,000 power. What if I removed it from my own effect? Yes, we just said that. Now, Manticoremon makes its debut in this set. I'm fairly sure it's the first one. When you are attacking, you may trash the top card of your security stack to give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 5,000 power for the turn. What if I've got no security? Then you can't use the skill. You can only lower the power by 5,000 if you trash the top card of your security stack. If there is no security stack, you can't trash the top card, and that means that you do not get the benefit of this. I am sorry. But not really, honestly. Now, Dynasmon here has a rather ridiculous Digivolving skill that lets you trash the top card of your security stack to reveal the top 6 cards of your deck, add up to 2 level 6 or lower Digimon into your hand, and trash the remaining cards. It is great for draw. Well, when you Digivolve into it, do you have to trash the top card of your security and do the search? No. It is a you may, not a you must. It is optional. Can I do this if I have 0 security? No. Because it's dependent. You can't trash a security and then search if there's no security. And after I do this, my security is then at 3 or less. What about the other skill it has, whereby when a card is moved from your security, if you've got 3 or fewer, you recover 1? Does that kick in? Yes. So essentially, if you've got 4 security or less, you trash, and then you search for your cards, find your 2 Digimon. Oh, a card has been removed from my security. I then recover 1 card. So you're not actually even trashing 1 to do so. That is pretty gosh darned good. Morphemon comes in here, moving over into green. And when it's deleted, you reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 Manoa Bellucci Tamer card and a Digimon card with Aesmon in their name to your hand. And place the remaining cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. Can you only grab a Manoa Bellucci and an Aesmon, or can you only grab 1? And we've seen this ruling a bunch of times on a bunch of different cards. You do as much as you can. If you only reveal 1 of them, you can only grab 1 of them, and that is absolutely fine. And finally, we've got Arbamon, which is the first time we have seen Hybrid Digimon coming along in green. Incidentally, also Petaldramon, which is the other hybrid Digimon, and the rulings are exactly the same for the pair of them. We've seen them before when hybrid Digimon were revealed, but if you've forgotten or you weren't here or whatever, let's have a quick reminder. While this card has a Tamer card in its evolution sources, does that Tamer card security effect become the evolution source effect? No, that makes absolutely no sense. It's not an inheritable skill, it's a security effect. Can this card evolve from a level 3 Digimon rather than a Tamer? Yes, of course it can. It can Digivolve from a level 3 or a Tamer, not just a Tamer. Can the Tamer card in this card's evolution sources be discarded by my opponent's effect that trashes evolution sources? Yes, absolutely. Just so long as it doesn't specifically mention a Digimon or Digitama, because this is neither of those, it is a Tamer. When I Digivolve from a Tamer, do I still get to draw 1 card? Of course you do, you're evolving. Can this card attack on the turn it evolves from a Tamer? Yes, absolutely. You're not playing it, you're Digivolving. Is that still the case if I only played the Tamer this turn? No. You cannot attack with Digimon on the turn that they were played. And when this Digimon is deleted, what happens to the Tamer card? it ends up in your trash. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. There's part 1 of the FAQ. We will be back tomorrow with part 2 of the FAQ. There are many rulings, and we don't want the videos to be too long, but that'll give you a nice little opening. So there we go. As always, tell me what you think about these rulings. Tell me if any of them are surprising or particularly good. I, for one, am a fan of the Pulsemon ruling, which makes that card a whole bunch better. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.